So we're going to be talking about castor oil today, and very exciting is the fact that doTERRA came out with castor oil this past September at convention. I was very excited. It is in a dark glass bottle, which protects the potency of the oil within. And it is in a glass bottle because castor oil is very detoxifying. So it pulls the toxins in so that they can leave. Well, if you have castor oil in a plastic bottle, it's pulling all the toxins in from the plastic with which it's in, which is very bad, because then you take that into yourself, attempting to detoxify yourself, and that won't really be very effective. So doTERRA's is in a glass bottle, a dark glass bottle, for that reason. And we're going to talk about all types of wonderful ways to use castor oil. So these are not medical claims. So they're not here to diagnose or cure. The ideas can be used and tried to support your health. And so this is our castor oil here, and it has some very important properties, the primary ones of which are anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antifungal, detoxifying, and emollient, which means that it helps to lock in the moisture within your skin. So the first thing we're going to talk about is everybody's favorite topic, constipation. But when we talk about getting rid of toxins within the body, that is very, very important. So if somebody is dealing with constipation, a very simple thing for them to do is to take castor oil and to put a few drops in your belly button before you go to bed at night. And you can increase that as each night goes on until you're regular, like doing, maybe 2 drops the first time and 4 drops the next time, and until you don't want yourself overflowing, of course, but you can increase, and you can do it each day when you go to bed. And don't wear your favorite pajamas. Don't wear your ones that are, like delicate or anything, because it's a heavy oil and it may be difficult to come out of the fabric. It typically is. So you want to make sure. Usually it'll goes well into the skin, but you don't want to get it on your clothes.
I just wanted to say you can get the castor oil pad like that. I have that, the belt thing that you put it on so it doesn't get onto your pajamas.
Right. That is the next thing I was going to be talking about. When you're putting it in your belly button, if you do want to put the pack over top of your belly button, you certainly can. I usually don't, but applying the castor oil to a pack and to put that pack on the area that you're targeting is very, very effective. And so that would be more than just 2 or 4 drops or 6 drops of oil, but you'd be using more like a tablespoon or 2 of oil, and sometimes even more. So now if you're finding that castor oil with consistent use, is not solving your problem in this area, there are herbal supports that we can use. And of course, we always want to ask the first question is, are you drinking enough fluids? Are you eating vegetables and fruits that could help with the problem? So those are some really basic questions. But if you're eating well and you're well hydrated and you still need additional help, there are herbal supports that we can utilize. But castor oil tends to be very effective of getting things moving along. Cellulite. Castor oil can be used for cellulite. So you would take your castor oil to your coconut oil, because castor oil is so sticky that if you're going to be rubbing that all over your legs or your arms or something, it is just really sticky, and some people just feel uncomfortable, and it's kind of hard to spread around with how sticky it is. It doesn't go on as smooth as something else might. But when you take your castor oil and you add it to your coconut oil, or add your coconut oil to it on a 1-to-1 ratio, which means equal amounts of each. Now you can do this in especially for the face. And when we talk about things like that, if you're using it for your thighs or your arms, you're probably going to use more than a 15 ml bottle. But that is a standard recipe that you will see throughout this slideshow here is 1-to-1 castor oil to coconut oil in a 15 ml bottle with 6 drops of frankincense. And so we'll be using that again and again. So when you're putting that on an area for cellulite, then you would want to use sweatpants, or if it's on your arms, a sweatshirt or something. You could wrap that area if you want, but definitely don't put on your favorites. And you can just have that on while you're sleeping. Eye area. Well, this is just wonderful, and I have done this, and when I'm consistent, I just absolutely love it. So for the eye area, for your lashes and your brows, you just want to take a little bit of the castor oil, okay? And you can use the combination that I mentioned before of the castor oil, coconut oil, with for the eyebrows with the frankincense, and put that over the eyebrows. For the eyelashes, I tend to just use the castor oil by itself, and just put that over top of the lashes, and it does help the lashes to become very thick and lush, and very nice. And about 3 to 4 weeks, and you're going to see a nice improvement there most of the time. Everybody's different, of course. Now, if somebody is having eye irritation, their eye is pink and uncomfortable. So what you can simply do is take the castor oil and put it over top of your eyelid. And you can do the other one too, because sometimes that irritation will spread from one eye to the other. So, but this is safe to do with kids too. So you can just put the castor oil over the eyelids, and that consistently do it 3 times a day if you can, at least morning and night, and that should take care of it rather quickly. We're going to the other end now, down to the feet. So sometimes people talk about plantar fasciitis, which is an issue usually relating to the heels. And so this is very simple. And you're going to take that same castor oil to coconut oil with your frankincense, and you're going to put that over the heels, the bottom of the feet, the heel area. And you're going to do that every morning and every night. Wear old socks. And this tends to be very, very effective of soothing that problem. And when I think I know a few people who actually went for surgery and were in terrible pain after the surgery, and all they needed to do was just put on castor oil. The one person, I did tell them, and they said no, they're set for the surgery. And I don't know, if someone told me that I could have my problem taken care of with putting some oil on my feet instead of surgery, I'd be all for it. But we all have our own decisions. So hair. Okay. So castor oil is wonderful for skin and hair. So we can dilute the castor oil kind of like a 60-40, and but you could do the 50-50 if you wanted to, but a 60-40 is fine. And you can use 2 drops of lavender, 2 drops of rosemary, and 2 drops of tea tree. I do like to use what my favorite thing to use is, if you remember the white moringa bottle that we had, it was like a pump. This is what I really like to. So you'd be multiplying this recipe, but I keep saying a 15 ml bottle in here because everybody has some empties from their essential oils. It's just really easy to make the mixture in there. So, but if you have a moringa bottle with that nice little pump, you can just put that right up to your scalp and squirt the oil in and around your head, all over your scalp, and then massage it in, and then go to bed. And make sure you have an old towel, or, an old towel over top of an old pillowcase or something. Some people will put on like a satin cap or something like that. Realize the castor oil, it's not going to look pretty, but to put that on and let that stay on all night long. Very, very good for the hair follicles, for the hair, for hair growth. Absolutely wonderful. So do massage it in and go ahead and do that. And so this helps to reduce inflammation, reduce dandruff, helps if anybody has any like scalp psoriasis, all these types of things. It can be very soothing for all of these things. So you can also, now you would dilute it more for this, and you would really probably do more of like a 20% castor oil and 80% coconut oil, and just take a drop of that mixture and put that in your hand and just smooth that over your split ends. You can also use it as a hair oil and just like a drop or two and massage that into your hair if you have dry hair, and that will add luster to your hair and give moisture to your hair. Inflammation. So we're talking about like our backs, necks, hands, wrists, knees, joints in general, shoulders, painful or strained muscles in general. We would use our castor oil with our carrier oil, normally the coconut oil, and then we would add our frankincense or copaiba, or 3 drops of each. So depending on what size bottle we're doing, but if you're talking about a half-ounce bottle, which would be a 15 ml bottle, you're talking 6 drops of your essential oil, and then go ahead and multiply that up to the size of your bottle. And so castor oil is very, very supportive with muscles and joints and with inflammatory issues. Skincare. So we're going to dilute our castor with our coconut oil again in the 15 ml bottle, and you're going to add 6 drops of frankincense. And for fine lines and wrinkles, this can be your nightly before bed routine, and this works very, very well. I have done this, and right now I just got my, what do you call it, hydrating moisturizer from doTERRA, and so I'm using that right now. But after a while, I tend to go. I'll probably go back again to the castor oil coconut oil combination. I'll probably swing back and forth, but I do like using the castor oil coconut oil combination. It's very emollient. It's very hydrating. So the castor oil also helps with other issues, which is really kind of funny because it's really good at helping to fade blemishes. So if somebody is dealing with different type of skin issues, even acne. So acne, we think of like the teens, the young people, but it can also help with fading age spots or sunspots. It also can help soothe rosacea. So it is very, very supportive to the skin in general. And so to think of, well, how come it does all these different things? Well, it really doesn't do as many things as you think. Basically, it's supporting the skin in all these ways. And it's just skin with different issues, skin with of different ages, but it's still supporting the skin and helping the skin. So that's how it does so many different things. So this can also be applied to soothe sunburn. So you can put it on your hand and put it on, but you can also put it in a little spray bottle and spray it on. There are spray bottles. I think our spray bottle will spray it out if you use enough coconut oil with it. And then if you're going to use it with sunburn, don't forget to use your lavender, your frankincense, and your tea tree, just like we always have for sunburn, and have your castor oil in there too, and that'll be really beneficial. Now, castor oil can break down scar tissue, so absolutely use your castor oil, and absolutely have your frankincense, which is very good at helping the body to repair from scarring. More skincare. Well, we can apply the castor oil to our fingernails and to our cuticles to help to moisturize our fingernails and our cuticles. And I go on these long bouts of not wanting to wear nail polish, and I will wear it for a little while, but I'm really I got so many things to do. Doing my nails is not a priority, but putting a little castor oil and just rubbing that into the fingernails and the cuticles is very beneficial for your nails, for your cuticles, and it gives a little shine to it. So that is very nice and very beneficial. We can apply the castor oil, coconut oil with frankincense combination to crepey skin, and it will help to reduce the crepiness. We can apply it to cracked heels. Sometimes people, they get the skin dry and cracked on their heels. So the castor oil can be used in this case by itself, or you can use it in the diluted fashion and apply that to the heels and put a sock over it. And that's very beneficial for the skin. You can use it for your nightly skincare. In other words, your moisturizer before bed after you wash your face. For skincare, we can also use it for creases around the eyes. So you would use it, dilute it by the coconut oil and put it in like around the eye area, go around the orbital bone. So, and you can do that while you're doing your eyebrows. So you're going to just pat it around the orbital bone, and then go up to the eyebrow area, which is again at the orbital bone, and put it all the way around. So we can apply the castor oil to help soften our lips. A lot of people get dry, chapped lips in the winter, especially if they're doing shoveling or winter sports. So if you make your own lip balm, you can add a little castor oil to that. That would be a good idea because it does penetrate and moisturize. So for skincare product replacement, for exfoliation, we can use castor oil with a little coffee grounds, and we can use that for exfoliating for our feet or our legs. So that's good for our body for exfoliation. And use the castor oil combination formula that I gave you before, the castor oil, the coconut oil, and the frankincense in place of a lotion. Now, when feet are red and itchy, if somebody might suspect a fungal infection on their feet, they can use the castor oil to the coconut oil and then add tea tree and frankincense. Apply that every morning and every night, and that can be very beneficial for such a condition. Moles. Well, moles tend to do very well with castor oil. So in this case, you would take your castor oil, put it in the 15 ml bottle, and add your 3 drops of frankincense, 3 drops of turmeric, and 1 drop of black pepper, and apply that directly to the mole. This is going to take a number of weeks, but this should remove the mole, leaving no trace of the mole behind. So that is what people have said they have had experience with, and so you could try that and see if you have the same experience. Pain such as migraines or head tension. So Janice had mentioned somebody was talking to her lately about severe head tension. So you use your castor oil with your coconut oil in the 15 ml bottle, and add 3 drops of peppermint and 3 drops of frankincense. Apply that to the temples, back toward the hairline, away from the eyes. You also put a little on the back of the neck, and you can even put a little bit on the forehead. Just keep it away from the eyes, and that has been known to be very effective in helping with head tension. Skin tags, warts, calluses. Make sure that you use your combination of your castor oil with coconut oil, tea tree, and frankincense, and be consistent. Apply every day. It can take several weeks before you have your results that you're looking for. So don't give up. Be like, well, I did it for 4 days already and nothing happened. It probably won't happen in 4 days. It's probably going to take several weeks. So give it time and just keep going. Some people are longer than others. So it could be 2 months for you because everybody's different. So just be consistent and do it twice a day, morning and night, and you should be good. Stretch marks. So you're going to use your same combination and just make sure that you apply and use an old cotton t-shirt or sweatpants. And this is a great thing to, with stretch marks, to go ahead and apply that pack, and that will keep your clothes from getting messy from the castor oil. And then thyroid. For people who have thyroid issues and need thyroid support, especially if they have a lump by their thyroid, then to go ahead and apply the castor oil on a pack. And most castor oil pack sets will have one that's about the right size to go right around the neck, and put your castor oil in the pack and put that on, and leaving it on while you sleep can be very very beneficial, because then it's on for a good amount of time. And